Joining me this morning is Dr. Mejia with Tyler Junior College and Jimmy Head with LTS Material Handling. At Toyota, we believe in building not just products, but futures. And today I want to share a story that embodies that vision, one where education, industry, and innovation intersect to lift the future of our workforce. Imagine this: a student in East Texas walks into a college with dreams of a career, but instead of the traditional path, they have an opportunity to be introduced to something else they may have never heard of: material handling. That student could leave with more than a certification. They could gain a career path that changes their life, supports their family's future, and strengthens their community.
For years, one of our biggest workforce challenges in our industry has been awareness and access. Forklifts are essential to every supply chain, but very few people grow up thinking, I want to be a forklift technician. Meanwhile, businesses like ours have been struggling to find qualified operators and technicians. In fact, a survey conducted by our local Tyler Area Economic Development Council revealed that 84% of local employers needed certified operators. That's not just a gap, that's a workforce crisis.
Together, Tyler Junior College and LTS Material Handling asked, what if we could close this gap? What if a community college and a dealership could create programs that introduce students and our communities to the material handling industry, first as operators and then as certified forklift technicians, being able to take it from a concept to reality. We jointly launched a forklift operator training program this past November. Classes filled immediately and are currently booked out months in advance. The students who completed the program left not only trained and certified, but also connected to real career opportunities, most importantly, in your industry. The very successful operator program was only step one. Now TJC and LTS are working to launch the first ever forklift technician program in North America. What does this mean? For students, new career pathways in an industry that fuels the global economy.
And for communities, stronger partnerships between education and industry that drive economic growth.
And for dealers, a pipeline of trained technicians who are ready to contribute day one. And one of the most inspiring outcomes, a recent TJC graduate, Andra, was referred through this program and is now excelling as a technician at LTS. That's the real impact, turning education into employment, into a lifelong careers. Let's hear from Andra and her experience at TJC and now LTS.
We were approached by our local Economic Development Council, and they let us know that there is a huge need for forklift operators. That's when we approached LTS, and we were able to partner and establish this program.
Let's start at the very beginning, which is operator training. Let's train these guys and gals how to operate equipment, which is going to help the community and help the employers secure trained operators.
This program is a part of our larger TJC Safety Institute, which was newly established, which allows us to underwrite safety courses for our local communities.
The industrial maintenance program taught me so much more than I expected.
Andra showed up, first-year student. She had spent 20 years in a medical office, and she wanted to change her life. She wanted to be in an industry.
I learned how to troubleshoot complex systems, read blueprints, and work as part of a team. And I started to see how these skills could open doors for me.
We had told all the students about LTS, Lift Truck Supply, how we had gone and met them and how great they were, what an opportunity, and Andra jumped on it. She went there, applied, they hired her.
Community colleges such as TJC are great for our industries. They provide a pipeline of talent and job-ready individuals.
This story is bigger than Tyler, Texas. It is a roadmap for how any dealership in North America can replicate this success. In our breakout session, Lift the Future, launching the first forklift technician program in North America, you will learn firsthand how this partnership was built, how the programs are structured, and how you can do the same in your community.
And you'll have an opportunity to meet the leaders who made this happen. Dr. Mejia, president of Tyler Junior College, as well as Dr. Adam Palacios, dean of Tyler Junior College North, Jimmy Head, general manager of LTS Material Handling, and Walter Flora, general manager of Parts and Service at LTS Material Handling. Because together, we're not just filling jobs, we're lifting futures. Join us for the session this morning at 9:30. It's immediately following the break to see how education, partnerships, and vision are transforming our industry. This is more than a class, it's more than a program, it's a movement, and we want you to be a part of it. Thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll see you at 9:30 for the breakout sessions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome TMH Aftermarket District Manager, Deanna Tishner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lift the Future breakout session. We are here today with Tyler Junior College and LTS Material Handling. They are both from Tyler, Texas, which is in the eastern part of Texas. We're going to hear the story of how a Toyota dealer and community college have joined forces to bring industry awareness, forklift operator training, and forklift technician certification to their community. Thank you, Holly, this morning for announcing the session. So you guys did a great job. So looking forward to this. So I'm going to now welcome to the stage Dr. Juan Mejia. Thank you. Glad you're here. And next, Dr. Adam Palacios. Thanks. Jimmy Head. Thank you. And Walter Flora. So can each of you kind of just announce yourself also and just say what you guys do at each of the locations?
Thank you very much. I'll start. I'm Juan Mejia. Honored to be here. What an incredible Toyota week and an impression it's left on all of us from Tyler Junior College. I started my work in higher education in 1988 at Texas State Technical College. Soon after that, I became a founding member of South Texas College, also in Texas. And then in 2013, I joined Tyler Junior College, where I serve as president and CEO.
Perfect.
I'm Jimmy Head, general manager of LTS Material Handling. I've been with them going on 29 years. I've actually been in the industry since '89. Started out as a tech, and we manage 4 locations right now, covering East Texas and Central Texas.
I'm Adam Palacios. I currently serve as the Dean of TJC North, which is one of our extension campuses. I've been in this position for about 4 months, but formerly, and why I'm here today, I served as the Director of Business and Industry Partnerships. So I was the one who was the lead for our forklift operator program, and am still taking the lead for our forklift technician program as well.
I'm Walter Flora. I've been with LTS for about 13 years. I'm currently the general manager of our parts and service group. Been very blessed to hold several different positions with the company. Started as a field tech, so just happy to be here.
Perfect. So let's get started. So one of the first questions I think I want to ask is just kind of tell us about your school, obviously, and how you connect with different, industries across your region.
Thank you very much. I'll take that one. Again, Tyler Junior College is one of the 50 public community colleges in the state of Texas. There are approximately 1,000 community colleges throughout the country and Canada, and I reference that because you probably have a partner community college where you're at. TJC is considered to be a large institution. We serve close to 20,000 annual students. We have an employee base of about 1,000 people, predominantly faculty members. We offer over 120 degree and certificate options, including specialized baccalaureate degrees. And then more recently, we're offering programs that are shorter in nature, this is going to be one of those examples. Very important to the success of the college are the pillars that we stand upon, and one of those is authentic partnerships. And the partnership we have with LTS has been just phenomenal. Another one is with our Economic Development Corporation and our Tyler Area Chamber of Commerce. They have been vital to what we do, and that's really one of our primary purposes as a community college, is to ensure that we're meeting the needs of business and industry.
You know, I'm obviously the aftermarket district manager for LTS, and I know these guys have been excited. We've been talking about this, Walter, for what, close to a year and a half, 2 years? Yeah, I got to go visit probably about a year ago and got to go visit the college and all this, and it's very, very exciting. It's just really a great program, and so I'm just excited to be here today to kind of talk about it. So, all right. So LTS, give us an overview of your dealership and the significance of this photo.
So LTS, founded in 1982. Our owner, right down up front here, Craig Murphy, comes in every day. We're proud of him. So we cover 56 counties, Central and East Texas. We kind of got that sweet spot in between those other two big dealers, you know. But we're pretty proud of what we got and what we do. We have 4 branches, 90 plus employees right now. But as a group, we wanted to start spreading the importance of our industry to both economic development councils, and how we contribute to industrial growth, and how schools can introduce the material handling industry to the students so they know that there's an opportunity out there of material handling and potentially forklift technician training in that career path. So 4 years ago, in the picture there you'll see, 4 years ago we began participating in the Tyler Independent School District's Career and Technology Center's Opportunity Fair. Local businesses come in and they share what services they provide and internship jobs and opportunities available.
Perfect. So to Dr. Juan Mejia and Adam, how did that relationship begin with LTS?
Yeah, you heard the history of LTS and their longstanding service to the community. Tyler Junior College was created in 1926, so we're getting ready to celebrate a centennial. Our Economic Development Council ran a survey with local employers, and 84% of the response referenced how important it was for them to have forklift operators. You know, earlier I bragged about over 120 degree and certificate options, and what a blind spot for us that we were not doing anything in relation to this field. So it was, how do we identify an authentic partner? We reached out initially to Crown, but somehow their business strategies and values did not align to those of Tyler Junior College. So that's when we found LTS. Everything aligned, the values, the strategic plan, and this incredible profession that's a global industry, and made it very important. So we began to work rapidly, and the phrase was used earlier today. We went with those who were ready, willing, and able. Instead of studying it for years and committing it to death and not getting started, it was one of those of how do we, if this is good, how do we get it started now? How do we really take it to scale? And how do we make it sustainable? And LTS, through the partnership of meeting Jimmy and Walter, Mr. Murphy, good leaders there came together, and we started with a forklift operator program. We knew there was a need, and that was addressed immediately. There was interest by the community, and now we're in the development of the forklift, really the training, the technician program.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell us a little bit more about the forklift operator training class?
Oh, absolutely. Talk about a demand. The forklift operator class is growing super well, and that's students are coming in. We are booked already like months ahead, which means this is very good for supply and demand. For those of you that are going to be looking for employees within your organizations, these will serve us all very, very well.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So, so how did TJC and LTS divide and conquer the responsibilities? I mean, obviously there were a lot of responsibilities when you guys decided to take this on. How did you guys conquer and divide those?
Yeah, so I'll jump in,
okay.
And I'll go back just a little bit to provide a little more overview for everybody of how we structured that program. So right now, we really, whenever we were meeting, we wanted to make sure that all of our students had quality education. I think first and foremost, we want to ensure that the skill sets that we're giving them, they're able to go and then get employment. So we made sure that we kept the classes small, we capped it at 12 students, and then we wanted to start with one course offering a month. I think that was very manageable, and we discussed long-term that we wanted the technician program, but we all agreed that let's start small, prove out this concept. While we know our EDC, we know they're great partners, did the survey, we want to show results. And so we took that initiative, we ran with the course, and I will say LTS is great in that they really took the load, if you will, of structuring the class with us. They created a whole classroom that's actually at their facility that all of our students go to. So our students start the day off right in LTS's parking lot. We all greet them. They take a tour of the facility. They get to see what's offered. And for most of them, I truly believe this is the first time they're ever being exposed to the material handling industry. And I will say, first and foremost, I was one who was unaware that this really was an industry, but it makes sense when they explained, how do you think things get to you? I mean, there's pretty much nothing that is not touched by the material handling side. So we went through that. We structured the course. It's an 8-hour course that allows them to get certified, and due to OSHA regulations, there are certain things that we can and can't do that the employer takes upon themselves. But we really wanted to ensure that they were getting a lot of hands-on experience on the machines, because talking to some of our employers, we realized they give them 45-minute training and say, good luck, make sure you don't wreck or hit anything. And they were having accidents, and they were seeing a lot of turnover. So I'm sure, as a lot of you here as well, when you prepare someone, when you invest in them and you show that you're valuable, then they typically stay. They typically feel like they're valued. And we've started to see a trend that it's helping our employers reduce their turnover overall.
How's the response been to the class?
And so as far as response, the very first class that we did, we were a little nervous because...
You were in that class.
Yes, I was. I did take the class, and I will tell you, terrifying for me personally, especially whenever we were going down the hill. I realized the brakes were just an accessory. There really is no stopping, I promise you. And so we really were a little nervous at first, but we were able to couple that with a grant that we were awarded to establish a safety institute. So the course is completely free to anybody in the community. We're really trying to get it out there. And after that first offering, we were booked out and are currently booked out till December, and that's just because we haven't opened any past December, but we expect once we open up that cap, we'll book out months in advance, and that's us even going back, and now we offer them a lot more often than once a month, usually about 2 or 3 a month, but still, I mean, the demand is amazing, and I think the reach also is something that we were not expecting. Not only for those who are currently unemployed, but we've been, our parole board has reached out and they want to connect with us and maybe provide a pathway for second chance individuals. We've had community organizations reach out. I never thought that, maybe the Red Cross, whenever there is an emergency that happens, they have to have a specific response. And I know we talked about it earlier here at the conference. As well as just churches. East Texas, we have a lot of churches, and a lot of those organizations have warehouses that they also offer response, and they've come out and taken the course as well. So huge community impact.
Lots of volunteers
Yes.
in the community have jumped in the program.
That's great.
And we've had new startup companies, come in and want to get trained on forklifts and learn how to operate them before they kick off their businesses. So.
And what we try to do is the classroom portion, anyone that has been in on the operator training, you can do that with one person technically, or 2 people would be great. When we jump into the practical, if we have 12 full class, which is 12 students, we bring in 3 practical trainers. So you get the time on there that's splitting it up into groups of 4, and you make sure you're getting the time in on the equipment you need, because just running them in there, running them around and getting them going, that is not the way to do it, and that's not the way we do it. So,
Very good. So I know this is I think I know the answer to the question, but what do you see for the future? Are you going to continue to offer the class? I mean, what do you see long term?
oh, I think so. I don't
yes.
see any stopping. We're
No
looking
stopping now. We're just getting started good.
Looking to add in a TJC instructor as part of the class. And I know they're working on that. But the picture, if you could show the picture up on the board, we're very proud of this picture as well, because this is the front of their catalog for the fall session. I don't know if we can show that one more time or if it was already up there. So pretty proud of that.
Yes, and I will say that this program, we really hope to continue to grow and expand it. And as as they mentioned, we really now want to ensure that we have those instructors who can almost start offering it full time, because we have really relied a lot on LTS, and I mean, they're great, but we want to make sure that we're being great partners and complementing each other in that capacity.
All right, so Jimmy and Walter, what, I guess, direct benefits have you seen from this relationship and everything that's, happening?
Well, to start with, really what we were after is to create an awareness in our community, because nobody, I mean, how many times have we all gone and told somebody, hey, I work for LTS Material Handling, we're a Toyota dealer. And they're, it's kind of like, what? Yeah, Toyota forklifts. Toyota makes forklifts, and these guys, and so a lot of the other people we talked to had no idea.
Can't work on your Camry.
Yeah, and I said, you can take your Camry down to Classic Toyota and get it fixed or get your oil changed, but, it's a little more difficult to take this 15,000-pound forklift to, just drive it down the street and get it serviced. So, and just explaining the industry and what it is and how everything is connected, but it's only connected because we're the ones that connect it, right? Everybody in this room, we're part of that in one area or another, we're part of that, right? So that was my initial thing, was I wanted to bring awareness. And then we'd spoken to the guys at TJC and delivered that message, and they took the hook, and once they seen it, they seen the potential, and they seen how it affected the community and how, we're giving back. We did the tour yesterday, Tom Lego.
Yep.
And he does, as everybody knows, he does a fantastic job. But, he was playing the part about Sakichi Toyota. And, the whole thing that got this hall started was he wanted to make a difference, right? He wanted to make a difference in his community and give back. And I feel like by doing this right here, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
And so we're kind of really getting back to basic principles and doing that right there. But, next steps are the technician training.
And that's what I wanted all along.
Yeah, selfishly, that's where we wanted to go with that. But, the operator training was kind of a stepping stone to get us there.
Yeah.
Let's kind of get everybody kind of feel the way we do our businesses and operational and everything like that. And it just, it just matched.
And
it
great.
Worked great. And educators, as passionate as we are about forklifts and material handling and solving problems and solutions for our customers, these guys are so passionate about educating students and preparing them for the future. And, so that's why it works.
Well, perfect lead off. You had mentioned the forklift technician program. So how did this conversation get started? And I mean, what have been the first steps to creating this program? What have you guys done?
So I would say that Walter's definitely correct, and that was the very first thing they started with. And, we really wanted to be a little more realistic as far as us coming to the table at the very beginning, just to make sure that let's prove out this concept. We know our EDC, great partners, and I think that's one thing that I would like to highlight as well, and I'm sure everybody would agree up here, that East Texas, I mean, so many of our community partners are just amazing, and that when we launched something, I mean, they took it and ran with it. We had our EDC sending it out to all of the businesses, our regional businesses, and we currently have a lot of our EDCs, economic development corporations and councils all across our region that also, they host these courses as well, and they send it out. So many people want to ensure our success, and I think that really speaks volumes. But with the program, so we knew that we had that goal in mind, but let's prove out this. Let's work out all of the issues that we can as far as the flow of the course. And so that's really where we started, but our conversation started with the technician program in mind. We came and we said, okay, now that we've had this up and running, we know it's successful, pretty much that's on autopilot. What do we need to do to get the technician program going? And so we started off with curriculum, and we wanted to rely on the experts. We knew that we're here to provide the actual credential, ensure that our students have those skill sets, and then send them off for employment. But that needs to be led by industry, and we need to ensure that we are allowing them to lead this. So we were able to come up and we found a curriculum through MSSC that was created in conjunction with Mahita, as I'm sure most of you are very familiar with. I remember when I first showed this, I was like, well, do you know what Mahita is, Walter? And they were very familiar, and it was vetted curriculum. And what's great about it is it ensures that we have a community partner, because the classroom portion is taught in our facility. However, the hands-on portion must be taught in an actual forklift facility. And so that ensures that we are both good partners, that we're both accountable, that we're both invested in the success of this program. So we've reviewed the curriculum, allowed them to see it. We're currently working on what would be the best modality and time frame for the program. Because as I'm sure many of you are familiar with, we could do the 35, 45-minute training, as most employers typically go that route and say good luck and you'll learn hands-on. But I think we've discovered a lot of this takes time, and while you can teach these skill sets, it needs to be one at a time, and then go allow them to work in a facility and actually incorporate that into their everyday work. So that's where I think we're leaning more towards a longer-term program. And then I know Walter and Jimmy both are also discussing how this program may qualify on your end, and I'll let him speak to that, but also ensuring credit, because we want to ensure that our students have a credential that is recognized, that they could go anywhere, whether they're staying in the East Texas region or going further beyond.
And what that is I don't want to throw anything out there, and I look over at Holly every time I start talking about this, but what if this program, if we could qualify this program where you came in at a certain level in the Toyota program, you're working on Toyota forklifts in a Toyota facility, these classes, what would that bump you to right when you came through the door if you decided after your school to, after your classes were complete, to come work for us? Or any, and I will say that, we're selling that to the students. And, we have great partners in Texas as far as dealers. And, I've told several of them, if you want to go live in the Houston area and you do this, I can get you a job before you get there. I can get you a job in the Dallas Metroplex area before you get there, really the whole nation as far as the Toyota dealership network. So I think that's a big selling point as well. And I believe that anyone coming out of school with these qualifications, any dealer would be very happy to have them starting out. And with Andra is a perfect example of that. She, of course, she's not done this class, but bringing the skills that she brought in as a industrial maintenance tech graduate, we're putting her on the stuff like, what everybody's preaching, be able to work on everything. Walk through the door, I can fix that, I can fix that. I sent her out to work on a shrink wrap machine the other day. She walked through the door, she had the schematics in minutes, and she worked on it, she figured it out. Now I think we've totally captured that customer.
Absolutely.
So that's what we want, and with what they're getting at TJC along with this curriculum, I hope, in the future we could work with Toyota to bring them in, okay, they're a certified Toyota technician when they walk through the door, now they start their bronze. Or they're this far into bronze, they still have to complete this much time in service. And that's a little ways out, and I understand that, and I know there's a lot that goes along with that, but wouldn't that be great to get that across the nation at some different schools and be able to do that? But I know that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, but also, we're trying to shrink that timeline from when we hire that tech on to get them actually out there billing. So, how long does it take to get somebody prepared? We do our onboarding in-house for a week or two or a month, and then they do ride-alongs. And if you can shrink that process down and get them out there billing sooner, we all benefit, right? So, again, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yes, and one thing I'd add too is, back to ensuring that as an educational institution, we're teaching skill sets and something that can go across different industries. And you know, I think that's highlighted by our industrial maintenance program, where they really try to provide a foundational education. And we try to maybe not go as in-depth into specializations, because we know as employers, you all have different processes, different ways of doing things, and you're going to provide that kind of specialization. But if we can provide just solid, well-rounded individuals to you in a timely manner, then that's our goal, and I think our step as an educational partner. And everything that the state of Texas has done as well in our educational sector has really, if you will, turn that model upside down and has started saying we're here to ensure that our students are getting a return on their investment. They're here to ensure that they're getting employed, and that's what we're focused on.
And as far as pulling the experts in, if you visited LTS anytime during the time period where we're trying to set this up, you got a tour of TJC. Yeah. I know we took the lean team over there. We took I think Greg Bowman went over there. I think we had so many. If you walk through the door, Deanna, we took you. Yep. We wanted everybody to see it, and I think pulling that group in and getting Toyota involved really, you know, showed you guys how committed we were to try to get this. Thank you. So.
You know, you mentioned Andra, and then we got to see the video earlier of her. I got a chance to meet her, and what a cool story. I mean, 20 years in the medical field, and then to do this. And I remember I walked up, and she crawled out from underneath a piece of equipment and shook my hand, and she was so polite, just like, yes, ma'am, you know. And she was just so excited. And again, I mean, it's not always easy to find females, you know, that are wanting to come into this field. And I just could tell that she was really excited and was very proud.
I need about 15 more of her, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So before we got started today, we put some flyers on the tables for you. So this is they're gonna kind of talk about the roadmap of if you guys wanted to do something similar, how could you get started? So you guys want to talk about that for a moment?
Yes, absolutely. So on most tables, you should have a copy of the roadmap. And we try to make this as generalizable as possible for everybody, because we do recognize, you know, the state of Texas does things very differently than many other different states, but I think the general process should be the same. So really starting off, identify your local community partners, and whether that be your community college or if you have different structures, really the main point that we want to stress here is just ensure that they are I guess qualified or credentialed, reputable really is the word that we use here, but just to ensure that they are focused on the same values as Toyota. And I think from our time doing the tour, I mean, just such an amazing organization and company. And I think that really resonates a lot with TJC's mission, and that we just want to ensure the best for our students. And so finding that right organization and finding the right person to talk to. And I think, Jimmy, you said it took you a few years to find the right person because you reached out to different entities, and that is hard. We're a large organization. Many of your colleges are large organizations, but if you're persistent, I will say, like me, I don't take no for an answer. I just try to go find a different solution, try to go and find somebody else. And so I would encourage you to find whatever person that is, whether it's on their continuing education side, their workforce development side. Try to find that individual and explain the idea and the concept and how it would mutually benefit all of you. That really is a key take there. Anything anybody wants to add for that point?
Yeah, just trades is a big deal right now. Yep. There's a lot of grants available. Current administration is pushing trades. So the timing is right, I feel like, to go out and reach out to the community colleges and visit with them to try to get something set up.
I agree with that. There's a movement nationwide, well, throughout the world, country, and throughout our state about workforce. Our traditional enrollment has shifted from predominantly transfer intent to getting into the workforce. And it's allowing us to reinvent how we do our work, that the thought of, well, take 2 years to come get an associate degree, maybe that's not what someone needs, and that's not what business and industry wants to wait for. So how do we package programs in shorter periods of time that are competency-based to get a graduate out there that's efficient already at a workplace? And then you're right, to be able to turn around where you start getting able to get an ROI on that investment.
Sure.
Yes. And then step number 2, assess your local workforce needs. Whether you have a local economic development council board or you have somebody that can help you go and survey all of the businesses in your area to determine what their needs are. I think that speaks volumes whenever you bring those partners in or you're talking to the college and you're saying, look, this is needed in our region and our economy, and so many of these businesses desperately need it as well. That, for us, really brought us to the table. I mean, when you have your EDC saying, look, 84% of all employers rank this as the #1 need, I think that speaks volumes. And it was, to Dr. Mejia's point, not on our radar. We were unaware of it. But that really changed our mind very quickly.
I think, too, don't go to your big D1 schools. That's something we wanted to make sure and say. Indiana, the Hoosiers are not going to, you're not going to succeed, You need to go find your schools that are out there trying to put people into the workforce, not Alabama. I'd love to go to Texas A&M and partner with them. Oh, that would be great, but it's just not going to happen, and it's going to be these schools that are trying to put people into the workforce.
Yeah, and I would add, we have different focuses and different time frames. To your point, community colleges, junior colleges, we really try to ensure that our students have employment in mind because we know the vast majority of them are non-traditional. And they're going to go, if we make and start putting up a lot of these barriers, then they're going to go elsewhere. And the reality is a lot of the training can be done on site or just through employers, and a lot of them are going that route. But that's why it's up to us to ensure that we're providing a quality program with a firm foundation to ensure that those students, if they want mobility, flexibility, it's there, and we can also have a credential that will follow them all throughout their life. So number 3, develop the training programs together. That's also key to ensure that we as educational partners, we can align them with credentials. We can also ensure that that curriculum meets those quality standards, bring in the experts, which we obviously have, and ensure that it meets both of our needs. And we also are training to ensure that it meets the needs of industry. So if we're not aligned there, then there's really no point in creating that program because they have to get employment at the end. And then leverage industry credentials. We just highlight that because for most institutions, at least for the state of Texas, which is what we're focused on, most programs need to lead to some kind of industry credential that counts for that student, that there's an organization or entity or something that is qualified and quantifiable for that student to carry on. So I know you may not be fully familiar with that, but if you're able to just dig into that a little bit more and try to find something, whether that's a credential or certification or something, and bring that to the table, I think you'll capture the eye of your educational partner, or even just tell them you're interested in ensuring that they have some kind of certification. We work with many employers that do that love that we can provide that to the student and also keep it on record, because if that employee ever wants to go anywhere or promotion, they can come to the college, pick up a copy of that certification, and they have it again for life. And then promote the partnership to the community. Again, ensure that everybody is aware. Your EDCs, for us, local churches, everybody who may be interested. We have Express Employment Solutions. That's a great partner that provides lunch for all the students because they know once they complete that program, they can also help leverage and put them into some careers as well. Many people want to help. We all want to solve this problem as far as employment and ensuring that our industry has the skill sets and the workforce that it needs. And then lastly...
1 second. I think I want to say this before I think we skipped right across it. And I think for the dealers and the service people here in the room, he said it, but we didn't really highlight it. The hands-on portion of this training is done at the facility. Okay, so it would be done at our facility. We have set up 2 bays. They're ASIC. We're getting the gear wrench toolboxes for them. So those students, after they're done with their written part, they are doing the hands-on at your facility. What better time to sell the product, to sell the culture, and to find the technicians you want than that time right there? That's that's what's big on the service side that we kind of skipped across that. That's really big for me. That's really big for me because I want a relationship with that instructor, and Jimmy wants a relationship with that instructor where they say, this is the guy right here. This guy is sharp. Well, that's the guy we want, you know. And if
We want to hang on to that one.
yeah, if he is wanting to move or go somewhere else, we want to place him in the dealership network and be able to call up one of our partners and say, this guy is really good. You know, he wants to move to Indiana. You know, so that's. I think we skipped across it. That's very important to me that hands-on is being done at our facility with our product, and our people are aware of what's going on. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. And I'd agree with that. I'd say we're neutral. Again, employment is what we want. So if we can already align them with an employer and they're familiar with their workspace, they already value the culture because they're being exposed to it every day when they go to the program, that's great for us. And again, we've already established that our values align as an institution. And one thing I'd highlight as well with the EDC is for our Economic Development Corporation, every time there is a current business or new business that's looking to move into the area, they're coming through our doors. I mean, we are giving tours probably at least once or twice a week to new businesses, current businesses, everybody's coming through because their number one focus is, do you have a workforce to support my needs? If I'm to invest millions of dollars here in a new facility, do you have these programs? Are you willing to create these programs? And if Toyota is being highlighted with all of these machines operating, we're showcasing these programs, that's great. And I think that was one thing that we highlighted to LTS as well, is we're neutral. We just want to ensure that we're offering those programs, and then we're attracting those new businesses as well. So the last thing that I wanted to highlight on here, step number 6, is Kaizen, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. Again, just that continuous improvement. That we started off very small, but we're continually to get better, refining some of our processes, ensuring that everything is done with the student in mind, and whether that's offering it at different times, offering it in different modalities, and continuing to grow on this process. And I think so far we have such a great team. Everybody comes together and puts in time and effort whenever it's needed. And I'm just excited at where this is going to be in the next few years, because we know this is a large problem as far as meeting the workforce demands. It's larger than us, but if we all come together, I think that's a step in the right direction.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. This has been great. I'm so glad that you happen to be my dealer. So, and I get to kind of see this all come together. So, does anybody out here have any questions for the panel? Okay, well, they will be around the rest of the day. So if you see them out and about and you have any questions, please feel free to walk up and ask them, you know, whatever you have. So other than that, that's all we have for today. And thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of Toyota Week and enjoy the ball field later. So thanks. Thank you guys.
Good.
Appreciate it again.